Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I know what you're thinking. What shadowy corner of the world are you dragging us into today? And the answer is, all of them. Because tonight we're talking about governments. Yes, those benevolent institutions that provide us with roads, public services, and the constant nagging feeling that they know exactly what we searched for at 3 in the morning. It turns out that nagging feeling might just be the tip of a very, very large iceberg. An iceberg made of secrets, lies, and probably a few misfiled expense reports for alien autopsies. We are about to pull back the curtain on some of the most jaw-dropping, mind-bending secrets that governments have desperately tried to keep under wraps. These aren't your garden-variety conspiracy theories about lizard people running the local council. Although, let's be honest, that would explain a lot about bin collection day. No, these are documented, declassified, and utterly shocking truths that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the powers that be. We're talking about mind control, secret armies, and budgets so black, they make a black hole look like a poorly lit brunch spot. So buckle up, because this is going to be a bumpy ride through the back alleys of history and the classified files of the world's most powerful nations. And as we go, if you happen to know of a government secret that's so wild it makes these look like the minutes from a parish council meeting, please, for the love of all that is transparent, drop it in the comments below. Let's create our own little declassified file, shall we? Right, let's start with a classic. Area 51, it's the Beyoncé of conspiracy theories. Everyone's heard of it. It's surrounded by an impenetrable wall of mystique. Officially, it's a highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nevada Test and Training Range. Unofficially, it's the galactic equivalent of a lost and found. Crashed UFOs, little green men, and probably the other half of my missing socks. For decades, the government wouldn't even admit the place existed, which is a bit like a toddler with chocolate all over their face insisting they haven't been near the cookie jar. They finally coughed up in 2013 after years of public pressure. The official line is that it's a test site for experimental aircraft. And yes, they did test things like the U-2 spy plane there, but that explanation feels a bit like saying Jeff Bezos just sells books. It conveniently ignores the mountain of eyewitness accounts, the frantic denials, and the fact that the airspace above it is more restricted than the VIP section at the Oscars. Bob Lazar, a man who claims to have worked there, went public in the 80s with tales of reverse engineering alien spacecraft. The government's response? To basically say, Bob who? Never heard of him, while presumably shredding every document with his name on it. Now, if you thought secret alien bases were wild, hold on to your tinfoil hats, because we're about to dive into Project MKUltra. This wasn't some hypothetical program. This was the CIA's very real, very illegal, very terrifying attempt at mind control. The same people responsible for national security decided to spend 2 decades, from the 50s to the 70s, trying to figure out how to turn human beings into puppets. It sounds like the plot of a bad Bond film, but it was happening in labs and safe houses across America, funded by your parents' and grandparents' tax dollars. The methods they used were the stuff of nightmares. They secretly dosed unwitting American and Canadian citizens with high levels of psychoactive drugs, particularly LSD. Hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, other forms of psychological torture. The goal? To see if they could manipulate people's mental states, extract confessions, or even create a Manchurian candidate, a mind-controlled assassin. Mental patients, prisoners, drug addicts, sex workers, people the CIA believed wouldn't be missed or whose stories wouldn't be believed. Let's travel back a little further, to World War II. While the world was openly at war, the United States was secretly engaged in another kind of conflict. A race against time, a race against physics, a race against the Nazis. This was the Manhattan Project. It was so secret that many of the 130,000 people working on it had no idea what they were building. They were just cogs in a vast hidden machine, told to do their part and not ask questions. Even the Vice President, Harry Truman, was kept in the dark until after Franklin Roosevelt's death. Imagine the scale of this. It involved building entire cities in secret. Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Los Alamos, New Mexico. It was a colossal undertaking, costing the equivalent of over $30 billion in today's money, all siphoned from the federal budget under vague descriptions. The project culminated on July 16, 1945, with the Trinity test in the New Mexico desert, the first ever detonation of a nuclear weapon. Alright, this next one is genuinely chilling. It's one thing to keep secrets, but it's another thing entirely to plot against your own people to start a war. Meet Operation Northwoods. In 1962, at the height of the Cold War, the United States Joint Chiefs of Staff drafted and approved a proposal to stage fake terrorist attacks on American soil. The objective? To create public support for a war against Fidel Castro's Cuba. This was a formal proposal submitted to the Secretary of Defense. The details of the plan are honestly stomach-churning. They proposed staging a Remember the Maine incident by blowing up a United States ship in Guantanamo Bay and blaming Cuba. They even considered developing a terror campaign in Miami. They even considered developing a terror campaign in Washington, D.C. They considered sinking boats of Cuban refugees out on the high seas. They considered orchestrating the downing of a civilian airliner. The plan suggested using a drone disguised as a passenger plane, loading it with fake passengers, then having it shot down by a Cuban MiG. The memo literally said they would create an incident which will demonstrate convincingly that a Cuban aircraft has attacked and shot down a chartered civil airliner. Before Edward Snowden, before the NSA, there was Echelon. Think of it as the original global surveillance network, the grandfather of digital spying. For decades, a secret intelligence sharing agreement between 5 countries, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, known as the Five Eyes, operated a massive eavesdropping program. Echelon was designed to intercept and analyze phone calls, fax, email, internet messages sent anywhere on the planet. It was a giant electronic vacuum cleaner sucking up global communications. We all know governments spend a lot of money. But what about the money they spend that they don't tell you about? Welcome to the world of the black budget. This is the tens of billions of dollars that are secretly allocated each year to classified or black projects. This money is hidden within the public defense budget in lines that are intentionally vague, like special programs or classified activities. It's kind of like the financial equivalent of hiding your new PlayStation 5 purchase from your partner by labeling the credit card charge essential household maintenance. This secret pot of money funds everything we've been talking about, and honestly, probably a lot more. It pays for the development of top-secret spy planes, advanced weapons systems, intelligence-gathering operations. The exact amount is, by definition, a secret, but estimates based on declassified information and budget analysis put it in the range of $50 to $80 billion per year in the United States alone. If Echelon was the grandfather of surveillance, the NSA's mass data collection programs are its hyper-caffeinated tech-savvy grandchild. This is the secret that truly brought the scale of modern government spying into the public consciousness, thanks to one man, Edward Snowden. In 2013, Snowden, a former NSA contractor, leaked a treasure trove of classified documents that exposed the breathtaking extent of the NSA's global surveillance operations. The documents revealed programs like PRISM, which gave the NSA direct access to the servers of tech giants like Google, Facebook, Apple. PRISM allowed them to collect emails, photos, search histories, and more. Another program known as Stellar Wind collected metadata on virtually every phone call made in the United States. After World War II, the world was breathing a sigh of relief. The Nazis were defeated, and it was time to rebuild and hold the perpetrators accountable. Or was it? Behind the scenes, the United States was engaged in a clandestine operation that would have been a PR nightmare. It was called Operation Paperclip. Its goal? Recruit top Nazi scientists and bring them to America. Yes, you read that correctly. The US secretly imported over 1,600 German nationals, scientists, engineers, technicians. Many were committed members of the Nazi Party, some were even implicated in war crimes. The most famous recruit, Werner von Braun, mastermind behind the V2, he was a member of the SS. His rockets used slave labor from concentration camps. In America he became a national hero, father of the Saturn V that took astronauts to the moon. For decades, anyone who talked seriously about UFOs was dismissed as a crank. It was career suicide for pilots, military personnel, government officials. But in recent years, the dam of secrecy has started to crack. The US government, especially the Pentagon, has secretly investigated UFOs, as they call them, unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, for a very long time. In 2017, the New York Times broke a stunning story revealing AATIP. Luis Elizondo, the man who ran AATIP, went public. AATIP ran from 2007 to 2012 with a budget of $22 million. The story included 3 declassified videos taken by Navy fighter pilots: Flyer, Gimbal, Go Fast. Those videos showed objects with no visible propulsion, performing maneuvers no known aircraft can. So, what happens if the worst happens? What if there's a nuclear attack, a cataclysmic natural disaster, or some other event that decapitates the government in Washington, D.C., the government has a plan for that. A very, very secret plan. It's called continuity of government, or COG. There is a shadow government, a team of senior officials deployed to secret bunkers like the one at Raven Rock Mountain Complex in Pennsylvania or Mount Weather in Virginia. These facilities are self-contained, hardened underground cities, ready to house a government in exile. And there you have it. 10 secrets that prove the truth really is stranger and often more terrifying than fiction. From mind control experiments, plans to attack their own citizens, secret budgets, doomsday bunkers. These stories aren't just historical footnotes, they're reminders to always question authority, demand transparency. The official story is often just the tip of a very deep, very dark iceberg. Which of these secrets blew your mind? Let me know in the comments below which one surprised you the most. If you want more, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. Thanks for watching.